All right, you guys, this is your review for your test. Hopefully for either Monday or Tuesday, depending on if I feel like you guys understand it. I mean, I'm not there, so hopefully by Friday you guys will have it already in your mind, and then we can have your quiz, and then we can move on to the next subject. So the rules are here on the side. It's pretty repetitive. I'm just gonna go through the steps with you guys one more time. So the first step says multiply denominators. For number one, since they match, you do not have to multiply the denominators. They already match, right? So for this one's actually pretty easy. We're actually going to skip all the steps because they match. These are the steps if the bottoms do not match. In this case, the denominators do match. So you're actually just going to write it on the bottom and then just subtract the top. So 7 minus 4 is 3. That one's easy. That one's done because the bottoms already match. Okay, so jumping over to number 2. Okay, this is where you want to make sure you guys are paying attention. So multiply the denominator. So I was factoring it out for you guys and doing that part, but I think that might be what's confusing you guys. So I think I'm just going to have you guys do like the butterfly method. You guys still do need to do your restrictions. Actually, let me go back a step, sorry. Our restrictions for this one, remember that it's just the opposite. So you will have to give me your restrictions. So our restriction here is y cannot equal 5. Remember that it's the opposite. So if it's negative, it cannot equal the opposite, which is positive 5. So that's the restriction for that one. For over here, let's do our restrictions real quick. Opposite of positive 1 would be negative 1, right? Here, it's a little bit different just because there's 2 numbers here, but we still want to do the opposite. We're just going to do the opposite of this one first, which is negative 2. And then we're going to take this number and put it underneath it. But we can simplify this. Negative 2 divided by 2 equals negative 1, which we see over here, negative 1. So we can leave it like that. Since you already did the work, just leave it like that. So our restriction here is that a cannot equal negative 1. Okay, now getting into our steps. Step 1, multiply the denominator. So you guys are going to want to rewrite the work. I feel like that's probably the best way. So you're going to do a plus 1, 2a plus 2. We're going to multiply all that in a second, but just rewrite it. So let's put the equal sign, and we're going to rewrite it. So remember that when you're multiplying, we are distributing. So you're doing a times 2a. So if there's an invisible 1 here, we did a 1 times 2, that's 2. And then since there's an a here and an a here, that's a power of 2. And then, actually, sorry, let me write this over here. I'm trying to like put the best space possible. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So we had 2a squared, 2a power of 2. Next, we want to bring that over. So 1a times 2. So remember, I'm going back to this and I'm doing it times 2 now. So that's 2a. And then we're done with that one. And then we want to go with the next term. 1 times 2a, that's 2a again. And then 1 times 2. So again, I'm going back and going to the next one. So remember, we do here and then here and then we go back and do here and then here. Okay, that's what we're doing, plus 2. So that's the bottom. So next, it says cross multiply. Cross multiply. So that means we're going to take this and multiply it here. And then we're going to take this and multiply it here. So again, we want to rewrite. So we have 4 2a plus 2. And then we're going to put the plus sign in the middle. And then we have 2, which is this 2. And then a plus 1. So we're going to distribute. 4 times 2a is 8a. And then 4 times 2 is 8. And then we have this plus sign, so plus. And then we want to distribute the 2, so 2 times a, that's 2a. 2 times 1 is 2. So now our final step, simplify by combining like terms. So our like terms here would be 8a for the top and 2a. And then we have 8 and 2 for the top. So let's combine that. 8a plus 2a, that equals 10a. And then 8 plus 2, for the ones that don't have a's, that's positive 10. And then at the bottom, we have 2a is by itself, 2a squared. 2a power of 2 is by itself because nothing else has power of 2. And then next we have 2a and 2a. They both have a's. So 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 would be 4a. And then finally we have the back number 2 that is just 2. It doesn't have a letter. It doesn't have a power of 2. So plus 2. So again, I know it's messy, but it's going to repeat. Multiply the denominators, cross multiply, and then simplify. So I'll give you guys a second to write that down. Okay, number 3. So again, the rules, you guys have them there on your paper. The rule is to multiply the denominator. So we have 4 times x minus 1. That's our denominator. So we're doing 4 times x, that's 4x. And then 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So this one's not too bad. So that's step 1. Step 2, cross multiply. So again, we're taking this and multiplying it here. And then we're taking this and multiplying it here. So again, rewrite the question so that everything is kind of like together. So I'm gonna do the purple first. 4, and then in parentheses do 2x plus 3 plus sign, which is this plus sign, by the way. And then 5x on the outside, x minus 1 on the inside. Let's do a side step real quick. Our restriction here for the bottom, r cannot equal, so x cannot equal positive 1 because it's the opposite of negative 1. So that's just so you guys can have your restriction there. Okay, now for the distributing part. So again, I think this is probably where you guys are having the most confusion, but it's multiplication. We've done this already for the past couple of quarters, so just try to go back through your notes and refresh. But we're going to take the 4 and multiply in. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times 3 is positive 12, plus sign, which again is this plus sign in the middle. 5x times x is 5x power of 2. Why? Because there are 2 x's here. And then last, 5x times negative 1 would be negative 5x. So again, just to give a side step here, we did 5 times x. If there's an invisible 1 here, 5 times 1 is 5. X times x is x squared, or x power of 2. And then we did 5x times 1. That's negative 5x. Okay, last step is to combine your like terms. So our bottom is the same, our like terms here. So we don't have anything else with x squared, so we can go ahead and write that first. And then we have 8x that can combine with 5x. So here we have 8x, and then we have minus, if you guys see the sign there is minus 5x. So that equals positive 3x. And then last we have positive 12. Positive 12. And that is the answer. I'll give you guys a sec to write that down. Okay, and then the last one. This one is a little bit more messy just because it has a couple x pieces here at the top as well. But again, just write everything out step by step. All right, last one. Step 1. Multiply your denominators. So we're doing these two multiplied. So let's go ahead and do here and here. We can just use this space here. For your restrictions, let's do the restrictions first. Again, the restrictions would be x. I'll go back to the restrictions. I don't want to use the space just yet. I'll go back to that. So let's just multiply down here. So we're doing 5x times x for the bottom. That would be 15x squared. 5x times 5 would be negative 25x. And then we do 4 times 3. That's positive 12x. And then 4 times negative 5, that's negative 20. And then we'll go back and combine the bottom in a second. So that's multiply the bottom. Next, we want to cross multiply. So there is a negative sign here. So make sure we keep that in account when you do your turn. So let's rewrite this. We have 2x times 3x minus 5 plus Okay, so when there's a negative sign, go ahead and distribute it. So we're gonna make the x negative and the 6 positive just to eliminate it. So we're gonna have 5x plus 4 times negative x positive 6. So I'm rewriting this and this together. And again, I just distributed the negative sign. If it's a positive, it doesn't matter, but since it's negative, I'm placing the negative on the x, and then since this one was negative, it switches it to positive because of this negative sign. So again, I made the x negative, the 6 was negative, I made it positive because I distributed the negative sign. Okay, so next is to cross multiply. So we're still cross multiplying. We have to just multiply this stuff here. So let's do the top. We're gonna rewrite it here. Let's go ahead and combine the bottom. These two have x's, so they're the only pieces that we can combine. So in the bottom we have 15 x squared, and then negative 25. If I owe you 25 and I've paid you 12, I still owe you 13. And then the negative 20 does not have an x to combine, so we just do negative 20. So the bottom part's already finished. I'm gonna just make a little space here. Okay, so the top is gonna be a little bit longer. Okay, so let's go piece by piece here. So 2x times 3x, that's 6x power of 2. Again, the 2 and the 3 have x's, so we add them. I did 2x times negative 5, that's negative 10x. So remember that the 5 doesn't have an x, so we're just putting 1. Compared to 2x and 3x, they both have x's, so that's why there's power of 2 here. Put the plus sign. Next we have 5x times negative x, that's going to be negative 5x power of 2. 5x times 6 will be 30x. And then finally we do the 4. 4 times negative x is negative 4x, and then 4 times 6 is positive 24. Okay, so the final step is to simplify by adding like terms. So the bottom's already done. 15x squared, 13x minus 20. Okay, so at the top we have a few things, so let's kind of place everything together. So we have x squared. So that would be 6 minus 5. That gives us a positive 1. X squared, remember we don't put the 1 is invisible. Next, everything with just x. So we've got 10x, negative 10x, 30x, and 4x. So that would be negative 10 plus 30, that's 20. 20 minus 4 is positive 16x. And then last, would be just 24 because there's nothing else with just a regular number. 24 doesn't have x or x squared, so this would just be positive 24. So that is that. That one's kind of messy, but it's the same steps over and over, guys. So let's go back and do our restrictions. So for this restriction, this one, it would be opposite of positive 4, and then the 5 goes underneath. So x cannot equal negative 4 over 5. And then for this one, x cannot equal positive 5, and then the 3 underneath. So we do the opposite of this with the other number underneath. All right, guys, it's your turn. Go ahead and try. This one's easy. That one's already done. Go ahead and try to do these 5 questions actually, sorry. 5 questions. You guys have today and Wednesday to work on it. Wednesday's tutoring. Thursday we'll review again, okay? But go ahead and try to do these, and then we'll pick up your Thursday.